A very good morning to all dignitaries and participants. We'll be starting off very soon. I request all the attendees to kindly kindly join and wait as we begin the proceedings of the inauguration for Aaruush 21. A very good morning to all dignitaries present here. We will be beginning in the next couple of minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Rishabh, shall we begin? Are you ready?
Hello.
Welcome, Professor.
Hey, hello. Yep, I can hear you. It's all good.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, dignitaries, with your permission, may we begin? Sir, are we audible to you?
Yes. It's clear. It's very clear.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Registrar sir, Dean sir, with your permission.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, I'm okay.
Thank you.
Please
Sir
start.
has joined, right? Yeah.
Yeah, please start.
Thank you, sir. There are some journeys in our life that do not happen again, some opportunities that do not come knocking twice. Aaruush has been that in all of our lives, an experience that altered our perspective towards ourselves and the world, an institution that has shaped us to be sharper professionals and better human beings. Today, we are the leaders of this brilliantly talented team. Tomorrow, we shall be leaders of the world, and it becomes our responsibility to be the torchbearers on the road to innovation.
Despite the towering constraints that we faced in the revolutionary edition last year, we did not fail the legacy of Aaruush and took a stride towards infinity as one of the nation's top 5 techno management fests as we multifolded online. Venturing into the 15th edition with our tagline, revolutionizing virtuality and redesigning reality, we aim to set new milestones, stretching our arms beyond the frames of imagination and sculpting into reality. But we are sure that if any team could pull this off in an insurmountable task, it would be this team. We began as a dream of graduating students in 2007 and has now crowned into a legacy that has been carried by a group of talented people through their blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have brought the feeling of Aaruush to you virtually that shall make their names immortal in the stellar history of Aaruush.
If we are respected today, it is because of the hard work put in by a strong team, a team that consists of over 1,700 volunteers, 400 committee members, 190 committee heads, and 36 organizers. Passion drives us to work harder than ever before to make every edition bigger and better than the previous one. At Aaruush, we work as a family where one helps the other without thinking of what they might get in return.
Stepping into the arena where we aim to revolutionize reality beyond the constraints of the pandemic, Team Aaruush has not only managed to create a legacy, but has also catered to more than 63,000 students in the thirst of knowledge through various events online. Sticking to the theme of cybernating social renaissance, Team Aaruush has been striving towards excellence by working for the upliftment and upskilling of the community since its inception. Aaruush has hosted numerous illustrious individuals, along with ones like the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who inaugurated the premier edition. The last few editions, we have had the privilege of hosting esteemed dignitaries and accomplished scholars like Dr. V.K. Atre, Dr. Raman Ganga Khetkar, Dr. Tessie Thompson, Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal, and Mr. Ranjan Anandan, and many other striking personalities have graced the occasion.
In order to leave a global legacy, Aaruush has become the local lead for the NASA Space Apps Challenge, which is the world's largest international hackathon. With more than 25 domain-related events, Aaruush also hosted more than 20 colleges for the Technological Summit conducted this year. The team has also organized Landstorm and thought-provoking challenges that intrigue the innovation amongst young and radiating minds. Nurturing the ideas of startup and entrepreneurship, we conducted the e-summit that harbored few budding young leaders and entrepreneurs of tomorrow. For the solution-seeking youth who plan to bring revolution, participated in the national level Hack Summit 2.0, with dignitaries from various fields for the luminary addresses and enthralling workshops. Team Aaruush has left no stone unturned when it comes to providing the best for its students. Marking the commencement of this journey, we welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of Aaruush 21 as we rise again in the spirits of innovation and strive towards creating a new reality.
This heroic effect of organizing a fest of this caliber through the virtual mode could not be possible without the support and presence of each other and everyone present in the audience today. On that note, we shall be calling upon the JSEC of Team Aaruush 21, Mr. Gaurav Joshi, to do the inaugural and give the welcome address.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now call upon the Joint Secretary for the welcome address.
Technology is best when it brings people together. I couldn't be more thankful standing here and celebrating the revolutionary progress which we as a singular population have made through technology. A very good morning to one and all present here. Today I, Gaurav Joshi, Joint Secretary of Aaruush 21, am glad to welcome you to the crescendo of innovation that we have been building for months. I'm honored to welcome the Chief Guest, Dr. Anil Bharadwaj sir, and Guest of Honor, Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara sir. I would like to thank them for being here and make this momentous ceremony even more illustrious. I would also like to welcome all of the dignitaries present, a distinguished and noteworthy panel that we are extremely grateful for. Thank you for joining us on this special day. SRM Institute of Science and Technology has always strived for scientific excellence. It has propagated freedom of thought and learning and has implemented it in all its academic programs. Aaruush has embodied in its founding principles to promote scientific advances and technological innovations that take us forward in leaps and bounds. Aaruush has strengthened its position as one of the top 5 national level techno management fests in the country. It has gained the respect, acclaim, and popularity. It has gained the respect, acclaim, popularity, and administration of students, teachers, esteemed dignitaries, and everyone associated with the fest of such vast magnitude. And none of it would have been possible without the hard work put in by a strong team and a team that consists of 2,000 plus organizing committee, including volunteers, members, heads, and organizers. This year's edition is a lot different than the last 14 editions. In these unprecedented times where everything is bound by technology, to pull off a whole fest and conduct it online, it's because of the sleepless nights, immense determination, and relentless efforts that were put in by our team to ensure that no leaf remains unturned. With the words interpreting to the first rays of the sun, Aaruush marks the initiation of a new beginning and the warmth, which comes with the burning desire to make a difference. Beyond the festivities and competitions, Aaruush is an ardor that connects all in a thread. With participants from all over the country, these 5 days give an opportunity to students from various colleges of the country to interact, think, and innovate. Amplifying the stature and magnitude of the festival, the flagship events are the signature of every edition, leaving a lasting legacy and setting a milestone. From technical and hack summits to various editions of SRM Run, and our 7+ flagship events etch memories, as well as provide a platform for the brightest minds to converge and put their technical and managerial skills for assessment. Team Aaruush firmly believes in the principle of giving back to the society through our initiatives like Aaruush Educates and Litter of Life. We try to bridge the gap between underprivileged sections of the society and technology. In all the editions coming forth, we stand with a vision for Aaruush to be among the most renowned and innovative techno management fest in the country. Hence, we step forward with zeal and determination, growing bigger and better every year. There are some journeys in our life that do not happen again, some opportunities that don't come knocking twice. Aaruush has been that in all of our lives, an experience that drastically altered our perspective towards ourselves and the world. Despite the towering constraints that we faced in this revolutionary edition, we successfully upheld the legacy of Aaruush. It was no mean feat to organize one of the nation's largest techno management fests online, but I was sure that if there are any team that could have pulled off this insurmountable task, it would be this team. This group of talented people, through their blood, toil, tears, and sweat, have brought to you the grandeur of Aaruush virtually that shall make their names immortal in the stellar history of Aaruush. With considerable honor and pride, I, Gaurav Joshi, on behalf of the organizing committee, welcome you all to the 50th edition of Aaruush.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav, for those warm words of welcome. The journey is important, but so are the individuals who experience it.
To give you a more in-depth perspective of the magnitude and grandeur of this organization, it is now our pleasure to request the Secretary of Team Aaruush 21, Mr. Nachiket Chaudhary, to speak a few words about Aaruush.
Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking leads to knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. 15 years ago, former President, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, spoke these words while addressing a full house TP Ganeshan auditorium as he inaugurated the premier edition of Aaruush. These words still echo in the hearts of all those who dream to build this legacy. Greetings to everybody present here. It is a proud moment for the team of Aaruush and the entire fraternity of SRM Institute of Science and Technology to welcome you all to the inauguration of Aaruush 21. SRM-IST, established in 1985, has always ensured the all-round development of students. The institution is a wonderful platform for over 50,000 students to grow, innovate, encourage themselves. To ensure this process and to push the envelope, SRM houses Aaruush, the very dais to broaden your horizons as we venture into its 15th edition. Here is a little insight into the foundation of the legacy that we are carrying forward with us today. The Fest has evolved into a platform where students can showcase a fine amalgamation of imagination and technological diversity, continuing to delve into unexplored avenues. The dedication and hard work put forward by 4 graduating students from SRM-IST led to the establishment of Aaruush in the year 2007 and turned their visions into a reality. Every idea birthed here, no matter how big or small, is a key step towards prowess and proficiency. A step to ensure the bright-minded youth of the nation grows into unique thinking, solution-seeking individuals to help the nation step up and to keep up with the competitive nature of today's world. Keeping these visions in mind, Aaruush has developed into a full-fledged national-level techno-management fest over the span of a decade and a half and has pioneered a change not only in the ideas but also in the mindset. Among our several accomplishments in this edition, we hosted Dr. V.K. Atre, former Director General DRDO, as the chief guest for the first ever online edition of the Aaruush Tech Summit that had 24 colleges from across the nation, including several IITs and NITs. Aaruush was the local lead for the NASA Space Apps Challenge, the world's largest international hackathon for the second year running. The inaugural ceremony of the same was presided over by Mr. J.D. Patil, Senior Vice President, L&T Defense. Aaruush hosted its traditionally offline flagships like Hybrid Hack, Hack Summit, and E-Summit through the online mode with pan-India participation. Over the next few days, Aaruush shall reach its zenith with over 50 events ranging from multidisciplinary domains, competitions to guest lectures by eminent international personalities to workshops by prestigious corporations. Aaruush shall provide holistic development, education, and entertainment to every section of the student community. Aaruush consists of team events, Team Envision, and 10 committees catering to the wide expanse of fields from robotics to management and to personality development. The enthusiasm of over 1,700 students, including more than 400 committee members, 200 committee heads, and 36 organizers during the course of a semester, working hard and finally resulting in a year-long festival of workshops, campaigns, challenges, and a 4-day bonanza consisting of cutthroat competitions, events, exhibitions, conferences, and much more. The Aaruush team puts in tons of hard work to make sure that the Techno Management Fest has a perfect place for participants to enjoy while learning techniques and facts that capture the interest. The team believes that there isn't a perfect moment that exists, but there are moments that are present only to be made perfect. The perfection can be attained only through teamwork and synchronization. Aaruush creates leaders in the field in the fields and domains, striving for perfection and excellence in every step. Not just that, this fest is attended by students from across the nation, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and eminent personalities. I once again take the honor of thanking Dr. Anil Bharadwaj sir, Director, Physical Research Laboratory, as the chief guest, and Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara sir, Assistant Professor, Singapore University of Technology and Design, as a guest of honor. I extend warm regards to Dr. S. Ponnaswamy sir, Registrar, for embracing us with his presence. I would also like to thank the patrons of Aaruush, Dr. C. Muthamishwaran sir, Chief Patron and Vice Chancellor SRMIST, Dr. V. M. Punaya sir, Dean MBA and the Financial Advisor to Aaruush, Dr. V. Thirumurgan sir, Associate Director Campus Life SRMIST, Dr. T. V. Gopal sir, Dean CET, and Dr. A. Ratnam sir, Convener Aaruush and Director Alumni Affairs, for their continuous support and trust to the organizing teams throughout the years. I would also take this opportunity to thank the faculty members of SRMIST for their tremendous trust and support shown towards us. With considerable honor and pride, I, Nachiketa Chaudhary, Secretary of Aaruush 21, on behalf of the organizing committee, welcome you all to the 15th edition of Aaruush. We hope that the Aaruush experience will be dazzling for you as it is for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for giving us that much needed vision into our stellar past and perspective towards the upcoming vision.
Now, it is our honor to welcome the Registrar of SRM IST, Dr. S. Ponnaswamy, to deliver the presidential address. Sir is a professor of physics and nanotechnology at SRM Institute of Science and Technology. He has worked on several papers and research studies in the fields that has an extensive knowledge and boundless experience in topics related to nanotechnology, X-ray, crystallography, material science, and crystal growth. As the registrar of SRM IST, he works as a senior administrative executive within the academic institution and oversees the management and leadership in the college.
We are honored to have you with us, sir, as the presiding dignitary at this auspicious inaugural ceremony. Sir, we are proud and privileged to welcome you and ask you to deliver the presidential address to the gathering.
Thank you, team. A very good morning to everyone present here. Our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, our guest of honor, Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara, the members of the team Aaruush, my colleagues from various departments, faculty members, and students. It gives me a great pleasure to address this gathering at the inaugural ceremony of the 15th edition of the National Level Techno Management Festival, Aaruush. Since its inception in the year 1985, SRM Institute of Science and Technology has proved its merit to stand along with India's premier educational institute. With accreditations from national agencies like UGC, AICTE, it also pride in having received an A++ grade from NAC, bestowing knowledge to over 52,000 students, not only from India, but also all over the world. SRM provides educations for undergraduates, postgraduates, and doctorates with collaborations with well-known institutes such as MIT, Carnegie Mellon, UC Davis, and Warwick. Channelizing every student's experience, be it different from social or economic backgrounds or discrete parts of the world, SRM intends to transform it into an opportunity that will take them places in their career and help them build a stable future, leaving no stone untuned to help the students reach the zenith of success. SRM helps them grow exponentially and make the best of their time on the campus. True to its motto of learn, lead, Leap and Lead, SRM Institute of Science and Technology has recently achieved a 5-star rating from QS for online learning. We have also achieved prestigious accreditation from NBA for 5 of our undergraduate programs. Our crowning achievement is being ranked 30th on the list of the Indian institutes by the National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF. SRMIST was recently presented the first prize in AICTE National Level Clean and Smart Campus Award 2021, a campus first step towards sustainability under the university deemed to be university category by the Union Minister of Education, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan. This institution is regularly ranked among the top global institutions by Times Higher Education, UK. It is a true pleasure for me to welcome all dignitaries, students, and faculty present here at this inaugural ceremony of Aaruush 21, the 15th edition of this national level techno management fest that strides towards infinity with every progressing year. Advances in technology can be empowering, progressive, and enriching. Excuse me. And SRMIST is proud to be a part of one of such enriching experiences where the students stand as the torchbearers of innovation. Aaruush commenced in 2007 and has grown to manifest itself into this incredible organization that has built a global community of like-minded individuals. What originated as an idea of 4 students has crowned in a legacy that drives itself higher on the ascent towards infinity, which has been the theme of the festival for over 15 editions. Aaruush has grown multifold from having a footfall of 4,500 in 2007 to 63,000 in 2020, which was the first ever online edition. Aaruush aims to instill a sense of growth with over 60 events organized by its event team across multidisciplinary branches of science, technology, and management. Aaruush also hosts numerous illustrious individuals, along with the likes of the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who inaugurated the premier edition, Dr. Tessie Thomas, the project director of Agni 4, Mr. Dilip Chabriya, founder of DC Design, Mr. Rajan Anandan, the MD of Google India, General VK Singh, Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal, the Honorable Union Minister of HRD, then Dr. VK Atre, former Director General of DRDO, and Dr. Raman Kangetkar, former Head Scientist of Epidemiology and Communicable Diseases at the ICMR. Aaruush provided the unique opportunity to the students of SRMIST to see the Arjuna tank on campus through its diverse list of expos, each more striking than the other. With the team achieving new heights and setting an epitome of excellence as we venture into the 15th edition, it's a great privilege for me to announce that the fest has organized events on both online and offline platforms, staying true to this year's tagline, revolutionizing virtuality, redesigning reality. While the whole world was still adopting the restraints of COVID-19 pandemic, Aaruush was a step ahead of the hurdle. In the last edition, Aaruush shifted to the virtual mode, catering to the upliftment and upskilling of a community of more than 63,000 students through various online events. In order to leave a global legacy, Aaruush became the local lead for NASA Space Application Challenge, which is the world's largest international hackathon. With more than 25 domain-related events, Aaruush also hosted more than 20 colleges for the technological summit conducted this year, with dignitaries from various fields for the luminary addresses. Team Aaruush has left no stone unturned when it comes to providing the best for its students. As a patron of Aaruush, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, and our guest of honor, Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara, to the inaugural ceremony of the 15th edition of one of India's largest national level techno management festival. As this team ventures into its 15th year, I hope that it will be a more successful and transcend our expectations in terms of bringing about real change in our society through the virtual medium under the guidance of our visionary convener, Dr. A. Rathinam. Over the next 4 days of the Aaruush, the mentors and the students from all across the nation will interact and innovate. I would encourage everyone to take away the most important lesson from this opportunity: the chance to be a part of a like-minded community that spans across the continents. I wish the best to Dr. A. Rathinam and the organizing team of Aaruush for the upcoming days of the Aaruush Fest from 16th to 19th October. May we all continue to rise in the spirit of innovation till eternity. Thank you, one and all. Thanks for giving this opportunity.
Sir, we are beyond honored to hear your wise words, and we thank you for your support towards Aaruush over the years, for guiding us through challenging times. It has been a true honor, and we are blessed to have you in our inaugural ceremony.
As it is rightly said, the most important part of the journey is its inception, and we could have no one better than Dr. Anil Bharadwaj as the chief guest for the inauguration ceremony of the 15th edition of Aaruush. Dr. Bharadwaj is the director of Physical Research Laboratory and the former director at Space Physics Laboratory (SPL) of the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center (VSSC) in the Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO). He was also the former chairman of the VSSC Central Level Monitoring Committee and the recipient of numerous prestigious awards such as the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize for Planetary Sciences and the Merit Award by ISRO. A man of many talents and accolades, Team Aaruush is extremely honored to host Dr. Bharadwaj as the chief guest for this auspicious ceremony. Sir, I request you to please address the gathering.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, good morning. All the Aaruushis, the Vice Chancellor, the Pro Vice Chancellor, the organizers, and participants of the student-run national level techno management Pest of SRM Institute of Technology. This is the 15th edition of this TechnoFest, Aaruush, and I am really honored and privileged to get to address you all at this junction. Thanks to the Aaruush team, the Bharat Joshi, Nachiket Chaudhary, the Vice Chancellor, the Pro Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, Swami, the Convener, Rathinam, and my co-panelist, Dr. Mohan, Ilara. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me. Such a fest is an important occasion for developing the skills and the talent among the students because they participate and compete with their peers in other institutes. So it's a good avenue for learning and honing their talents. Before I make a brief presentation to you all about the space research and development being carried out in the country, I would like to stress that there are few important aspects of students which one has to cultivate at all given times. One of them is the attitude. Attitude is very important as you will move out from college days or university days or institute days to profession and start working. The way you look at the problem, the way you attack the issue matters. The second thing is the aptitude. This is the time for you to grow as much aptitude as possible because that is one of the most important aspects which one has to cultivate to grow and come out well in your career. The third and the most important aspect is empathy. Empathy provides you such kind of talent, or I should say, such kind of knowledge by which one
Sorry, sir.
enters. Yes.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sir, are
Are
you
you able to hear
sharing
me?
some slides, sir? We are seeing your PDF only, sir.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, 1 minute.
We are
Okay.
not seeing your slides.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I
Yes, sir.
think
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you. Just to
oh, great. Thank you.
So the PowerPoint presentation was to the left.
Right, right. Okay. Which is this one, I think. Are you able to see now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any normal. Yes, sir.
Thanks for telling me. Actually, I shared the wrong
Now,
slide.
now it's fine. Sir.
Okay. So what I was
Thank you,
telling
sir.
is the
Thank you.
third aspect is empathy, and that is one of the most important one because you should know how things are wherever you are in your life. It connects you very well with the society and brings you out a character which is very much required for your growth. So these are the three things which are some kind of message from my side for you all the students who are listening and participating in this wonderful program called Aaruush 21. I thought of talking to you all through this virtual media. I'm actually traveling. I'm sitting in a car and talking to you. And this is all possible because of the technology which we have within the country. So right now we are making best use of the technology. And that is how I'm able to address you all. So my idea was today to talk to you a little bit about the space science and astronomy activities which is being carried out within the country. And this is the development being carried out over the last 5 decades or so. But I will try to touch you on and tell you more about the aspects of planetary sciences with respect to the development within the country. With respect to my talk over here, I would like to stress that I belong to Physical Research Laboratory, which is one of the oldest laboratory in India, established by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space program. This laboratory is also called as the cradle of space science in India, essentially because the whole space science activities started from PRL, the Physical Research Laboratory, and from PRL only we got the establishment of ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, and the Department of Space. So this laboratory is actually the mother of all the institutes of ISRO and Department of Space, as well as the growth of the space sciences within the country. This laboratory harbors 4 main campuses. The main campus is in Ahmedabad, which you see over here, the building in the bottom left. We have another building here, a campus called Taltej. And then we have Udaipur Solar Observatory, which is in Udaipur, in the middle of Fatah Sagar Lake. And then we have an observatory called Mount Abu, which is at the Guru Shikhar, one of the highest peak of Arabi Hills. So as I just mentioned that PRL got established in the year 1947. So we are actually... Hello, can you hear me well? Hello? I think there's disturbance coming.
Sir, I think you can continue, sir. It was just.
I think you can mute everyone. So PRL is actually celebrating the Platinum Jubilee year. And as the country celebrates its Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the 75 years of independence, PRL is also celebrating 75 years of existence, the Platinum Jubilee. And to celebrate that, we are running a 75 episodes colloquium series, which we call as PRL Kamrit Vyakyan, which is happening on every Wednesday at 4 p.m. So all those who are interested to listen to the talks of scientists, engineers, technocrats, as well as personalities from management, literature, and arts, are welcome to come to this YouTube channel to watch it live at 4 p.m. every Wednesday. PRL, as I just mentioned, was established by Professor Vikram Sarabhai in the year 1947, and slowly it started growing. We had the first observation of ozone started in 1951 from Mount Abu, and the foundation of the PRL was laid by Nobel laureate C.V. Raman in 1952, and the year 1954 we have the first building of PRL, which was inaugurated by then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And currently you can see the building in the bottom right, which was just taken a couple of months back. In addition to the main campus, as I just mentioned in PRL Ahmedabad, we had another campus called Taltej, which came into existence about 3 decades back in 1980s. And then we have an observatory in Mount Abu in 80s, which was established, as well as the Udaipur Solar Observatory. Now, if you look at the logo of PRL, you will see it contains sun. This is a circle with another inside dot, which is the symbol of the sun. And then there's another circle with a cross in the center, which is Earth. So the logo of PRL consists of sun and Earth, but then you also see a bigger circle, which is engulfing these two circles. And if you translate this logo into meaning, it means PRL research encompasses the Earth, the Sun, immersed in the fields of radiation, reaching from and to infinity, all that man's curiosity and intellect can reveal. So this is essentially what the PRL work is. If you look at the domain of research in PRL, it encompasses right from the end of the universe to the field called astronomy astrophysics, then solar physics, basically studying the sun, and space and network sciences, that is connecting from the surface of the Earth to the sun, atomic and molecular physics and optical physics, theoretical physics, geosciences, where we look at the processes happening on the Earth, at oceans, seas, mountains, rivers, deserts, and then the planetary sciences, looking at all the phenomena which is happening in the solar system. And I will take you to a journey to planetary sciences to my talk. Just to give you a feel about how PRL has contributed to the nation, there was a mention about our president, APJ Abdul Kalam, who actually started the Aaruush program or inaugurated the first Aaruush program. And he was actually working PRL. And he was asked by or requested by Professor Sarabhai to go to Tumba to start the rocketry program. Professor U.R. Rao, you must be all aware, was the Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO. He's an alumni of PRL. He did his PhD in PRL and was working as a professor and later on moved to Bangalore to start the satellite program. Professor Dr. Kasturi Yangan, he too has been the chairman of ISRO. and he did his PhD in PRL, alumni of PRL, and was subsequently working there, and then moved to Bangalore to start working with Professor Rao. And of course, there are many others who are shown over in this slide, which essentially suggests how PRL is contributing to the nation. Now, coming to our main topic of today's discussion about the solar system and planetary sciences in particular. You see here in this slide, you will see the 4 planets which we call as the inner planet of the solar system, that is Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And then there are 4 outer planets, that is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, which is in the outer part of the solar system. We also have small bodies like asteroids and comets, which are smaller in size, but they also go around the sun. So if you look at the whole solar system, you will see that there are 2 classes of planets in the solar system. The inner part of the solar system, which consists of smaller planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. But then you have bigger planets in the outer part of the solar system like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And now we have discovered many planets beyond the orbit of Pluto, like Cuma, Makemake, and Eris. And Pluto is now considered as a dwarf planet or a minor planet. If you try to look at this 4 inner planets, you will say Earth and Venus are something similar in size. Mars is roughly half. Mercury is 1/3. But if you compare them with the outer part of the solar system, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, you will say Earth is the 5th biggest planet. And Mercury, of course, is quite small. And if you look at them, compare Earth with Jupiter, you will say something like 10 Earth can fit inside Jupiter. But now if you compare them with respect to Sun, you will say Earth is a dot in front of Sun. And almost like 100 Earth can fit inside the Sun. So you can say how small the Earth is. And over the Earth, you can imagine where India is. And over India, you can imagine where Chennai is. And inside Chennai, the SRM. And inside SRM, you. So you can imagine how small we are compared to a star called Sun, which is the head of our solar system. We also have asteroid, which is called asteroid belts, which is in the orbit between Jupiter and Mars. And we also have asteroid of different shapes and sizes. For example, this one which you see over here is looking like a potato shape. And they also have satellites of their own. And here you can see the satellite of Ida, the asteroid, which is called Dactyl, which is hardly a kilometer in size. So asteroids, which are very small bodies compared to planets, also have satellites or small bodies which go around them. Comets, as I just mentioned, is also a very interesting object in our solar system because they are important from cosmological and cosmogonical point of view. And they grow into a huge tail of millions of kilometers long once they come into inner part of solar system because of the heating of the radiation or the radiation of the sun. And because they are all watery bodies, they start sublimating, basically moving directly from ice phase to gas phase. And if you can compare the size of the sun to the size of a comet like Holmes, it looks like the size of the comet is bigger than the size of the sun, essentially because the tail is very, very long. Let me tell you a little bit about properties of the
Sir,
yes.
sir, just so sorry to interrupt you, sir. Is it possible for you to keep your mic closer because some of your words are coming a bit muffled?
Okay. Let me see. There may be other disturbances also which may be coming from the roadside also. Okay, so is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes, sir, it's slightly better now.
Okay, good. So if you look at the planet Earth, you will say that Earth is 23.5 degree tilt, and that is how it goes around the sun. So it is tilted on its axis, and because of the tilt, we have seasons. If you look at the other planet in the solar system, say Mars has a similar tilt as Earth, and same is the case with the Saturn, almost like 23, 25, 27 degree tilt. But look at the planet like Jupiter, which is huge, but is almost vertical. Or a planet like Uranus, which is a 98 degree tilt, which essentially means that its pole is looking towards the sun and it is spinning on its axis with pole head on towards the sun. So there are various varieties of planets in the solar system, which essentially provides a lot of information about the planet Earth itself, but what is going to happen if we have a very large tilt. Similarly, if you look at the length of the day, Earth, it is 24 hours, right? Or we can say it one day. But if you compare this with respect to other planets in the solar system, you will see that the length of the day is highest for Venus. It is 243 Earth a day. It is something like 120 days day, 120 days night. If you go to a planet like Venus, you have to sleep for 120 days and work for 120 days. If you go to outer part of solar system like Jupiter, it is rotating very fast. Its one day is 10 hours only. So you can imagine that we have again a large variability in the length of the day. Or if you compare the density of the planets, the inner part of solar system is very dense, including the Earth, which is the densest planet in our solar system. And if you go to outer part of solar system, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, it is close to 1. And 1 is the density of the water. And Saturn has a density less than 1. So Saturn can actually float on water. If you look at the composition of the planet in the solar system, and you can say that there are something like 4 or 5 major classes of planet in the solar system based on the composition. We have inner planets like Venus and Mars, which is in the inner part and outer part to the Earth, are dominated by carbon dioxide. CO2 is the dominant gas, compared to nitrogen dominated or nitrogen oxygen dominated gas atmosphere in the planet Earth. But if you go to outer part, you will see it is dominated by hydrogen. It is largely H2, helium, and then small amount of methane and ammonia, and then other gases. If you look at other bodies like Titan, Pluto, or Triton, Titan and Triton are actually satellites of Saturn and Neptune, and they are also dominated by nitrogen, whereas their dominant parent gas is H2. So there is a large diversity of the atmospheric composition in a solar system of the planets as well as of the natural satellites. Talking a little bit about the sun, which is of course the most important aspect of our life, because if there is no sun, there cannot be life on the planet Earth. If you look at the planet, if you look at the sun, it looks very different at different wavelengths. The sun looks like pale, invisible, but it looks very different in microwave or radio waves. Or during eclipse, where you see actually the corona of the sun. That's the region around the sun, which you cannot see otherwise because sun is so bright. But if you look at the sun in X-rays or in ultraviolet, it looks very violent. And this violent activity keeps happening at all the time. And there is a cycle which is called 11-year solar cycle, which makes the sun going from solar maxima to solar minima. Now, if you look at how the sun is emitting the radiation, essentially the electromagnetic radiation. This is a plot which shows the spectral irradiance on one axis, that is the y-axis, and the wavelength on x-axis. And luckily, the sun emits the maximum in the visible part of the radiation. And visible is the part where our eyes are tuned, or eyes can see. So, the God has given us the sun, which has the maximum radiation coming in the visible part. Now, if you look at the sun also in other aspects, you will see that there are many activities happening on the sun, like solar flares, and this is one of them, which is time of Halloween, October, November 2003, when the sun was very violent and giving us a lot of flares. And there's not only flare which happens, which gives an enormous amount of electromagnetic radiation, largely in ultraviolet and X-rays, but there's also an activity which happens on the sun, which is called coronal mass ejections. Basically, the mass is thrown out from the sun, and this mass that moves out from the sun, a part of it which is directed towards the planet Earth, can actually cause processes happening on the planet Earth also. It is important to know how the sun's behavior is at all point of time. Now, talking about the moons of our planet, the largest is Ganymede, which is the satellite of Jupiter. The second is Titan, which is satellite of Saturn. Then you will see here Mercury. So Mercury, the planet, is smaller than the satellites in our solar system, Ganymede and Titan. Fourth comes, or third third satellite is Callisto, which is the satellite of Jupiter, and again Io, which is also satellite of Jupiter. And the moon, which is the satellite of Earth, is the fifth largest satellite. So you can imagine that the moon is much smaller than other satellite in our solar system. Now, as we talk about the moon, let me take you to exploration of the moon through the Chandrayaan-1 mission, which is the first planetary mission of India, launched in the year 2008 on 22nd of October. We are very close to this launch of 22nd, about 11 years from now. And this is a very important mission from Indian perspective because not only being the first planet, first satellite or first natural satellite or first mission to explore the moon, it also carried pre-experiment, which are going for the first time for probing any planetary body. Okay, and it was truly international character because it has 10 different countries participating. And if you see on the top right side, the whole spacecraft, it looks very busy with all the labelings. It shows the different instruments mounted on the spacecraft. And it also had the moon impact probe sitting on the top, which you see in the gray color box, which was released after reaching the moon, and it landed onto the moon. So India has actually implanted its flag, Indian flag, on the surface of the moon by release and reaching on the surface of the moon by the moon impact probe. And this happened on 14th of November, which is actually the Children's Day. So this was a gift from ISRO to the children of India that we have reached the moon and we have put the flag of India on the surface of the moon. This whole spacecraft which you see over here with a lot of labelings showing various experiments mounted, and this is a very successful mission because Chandrayaan-1 discovered water on the moon. Till that time, you are all knowing that moon is bone dry and there's no water on the moon. But it is the Chandrayaan-1 mission, the Indian first lunar mission, which discovered the presence of hydroxyl or H2 molecules on the surface of the moon. In addition to this, it has discovered many other things, including, for example, the presence of water in the atmosphere of the moon or beneath the surface. It has validated the lunar magma hypothesis, which is basically the formation of how the moon got formed. It has discovered mini magnetosphere on the moon, very small sized magnetospheres, unlike the Earth, which has a huge magnetosphere. It has discovered many small craters and big craters and has made maps of the craters, has looked at the volcanic activity and has clearly suggested that moon is not dead. There's active tectonic and volcanic activity happening in geological time scales of several millions of years and a couple of rallies. And a lot of these papers has come out as scientific publication, more than 180 publications has come out, and some of them has made the cover pages of the journal like Science or Geophysics Letters. This is the picture which I like very much from the Chandrayaan-1 mission, which shows how the Earth look from the moon. So this is the image taken from the Chandrayaan-1 terrain mapping camera on 22nd of July 2009. Okay, this is a time when we are actually looking at the eclipse happening on the planet Earth. As you know, the eclipse means it is a shadow of the moon falling on the Earth, and we are looking at that shadow when we took this image. At the bottom, you can see the surface of the moon. If you want to look at the surface of the moon, let me play this movie and you please tell me whether you are able to see this. Are you able to see this movie?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay, great. So this is the surface of the moon, which is imaged by terrain mapping camera on the Chandrayaan-1 mission. Okay, and you can see the moon is full of craters. It's all white patches and black patches which are seeing are craters. The moon is full of craters, craters of all possible dimensions, centimeters to meters to kilometers to hundreds to thousands of kilometer sizes. And you can see craters inside craters. So the moon is essentially full of craters. In addition to this, moon has changes in albedo of its surface. You can see the black patches over here, the white patches, which in turn suggests that the composition of the moon changes from place to place. Okay, And let me move to the next one. Let me talk about the Mars mission, which we call as the MOM, or Mars Orbiter mission. And this is a very important mission from India, not only from the scientific perspective, but more from the technological perspective. And I will tell you why. It has completely completed 7 years in its orbit now. Launched on 5th of November 2013, reaching after 10 months on September 24, 2014. It has already completed 7 years in orbit around Mars, and it's still going strong. When we had a planned life of just 6 months, and this is a very, very important feat for whole nation, that that the MOM mission has surpassed its life by more than a factor of 10. It has 5 experiments on board with a total mass of 13 kg, whereas the whole spacecraft mass is 1,300 kgs. So the total mass of the payload or the experiment is just 1%. Okay. This is how the Mars looks like from the Mars color camera on the MOM spacecraft. It looks quite different at different seasons. We have covered 3 seasons on the Mars. Each season on the Mars, or each year on the Mars, is about twice of that of the Earth. So with 7 years, we have completed 3 years of Mars, which is something like 6.5 years for the Earth. And it looks, there are stunning pictures of Mars which has come out from this Mars mission. This is, for example, one of the important feature on the Mars, which we call a Valles Marineris. And you can see this completely filled with clouds and dust at times. And at times it is completely clear. And you can see the clouds giving a shadow on the surface, you know. So these are the information which have been revealed from this mission. And we have also seen how the atmospheric composition changes as a function of altitude from the Menka experiment, which is my instrument on the MOM mission. And it has shown for the first time how the Martian gases changes as you go up in the atmosphere, particularly in the evening time, where we have shown that a CO2 dominant atmosphere essentially converts to O dominant atmosphere. That is atomic oxygen is the dominant gas when you go somewhere around 250 or 260 kilometers above the surface of the planet Mars. It has also discovered superthermal argon. That is essentially means that there are species which are hot and which have a temperature much higher than the ambient gases. And the importance lies is that if you have any gas which has a higher temperature or higher energy, it will easily escape from the planet. And that is turn has now changed our understanding about the escape process of the atmosphere of the planet Mars. We also look at the 2 satellites, Deimos and Phobos. Phobos is about 25 to 30 kilometers size. Deimos is about 10 kilometers. And these are 2 small satellites which is roaming around the planet Mars, and it has been seen very well by this MOM mission. After the launch after reaching the Mars on 24th of September year 2014, one of my colleagues from US sent me this slide and told me that MOM has become so famous that it's come on a coke diet, you know. And Google, you know, celebrated the Mangalyaan, the nickname of the Mars orbiter mission, after 1 month, that is on 24th of October 2014. Okay. And Amul, you know, came out with this ISRO's cow, Amul, Cheese Buddy have Mars. So this is how the country was actually celebrating the technological feast of or technological capability of India, because India is the first country in the world to have the successful insertion of an orbiter around the Mars in the first attempt. And images taken by this Mars Mangalyaan or Mars orbiter mission of India has come on National Geographic and many other magazines around the world. And government of India also understood the technological feast which India has achieved by the Mars orbiter mission and has put the image of it on the back of the 2000 rupees note. Many of you must have already noticed that, right? Now let me move to another mission called Chandrayaan 2, which is the second mission to explore moon. But this is a much more complex and complicated mission, essentially because in addition to orbiter, it has a soft lander. And inside the lander was a rover called Victor. So we had the Victim lander and the rover was called Pragyan. And as you all know what happened for this mission, but the orbiter, which is in orbit around the moon, is working very well, and all its 8 experiments are working very well and providing very high quality data. Now we are working for the Chandrayaan 3 mission, which will be essentially a lander and rover mission, which will contain experiments 4 on the lander and 2 on the rover. And they are going to provide us very unique information about the surface, because rover is going to move by in situ measurement about the chemical composition on the surface of the moon. Talking about the orbiter, the data which is coming out, which I just mentioned, we have excellent information about now various processes happening on the surface of the moon, including features like rallies or features like craters. This is one of the very famous crater, which is called Sarabhai crater, in the memory of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space program. And this crater is on the near side of the moon. So one can actually see this crater if you have a good telescope. This crater is about 8 kilometers deep and about 2 kilometers in size, and situated at about 24 degrees north and 21 degrees east. So it is on the near side of the Earth, the side which you see always from the Earth. This Chandrayaan 2 has also provided a lot of information on the subsurface features using its synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, because it's a dual SAR, L and S band SAR. It is providing fantastic information about the subsurface features and looking at the deposits which contains ices. It has also provided excellent information about the craters of dimensions very small in sizes. Here you can see a small craters of about a meter or even less than that. So sub-meter size craters are now even imaged by the Chandrayaan 2 mission. It has also provided information about the solar flux, which is coming interacting with the surface of the moon, essentially by looking at the X-ray flares on the sun, which is important for us to know the process happening on the moon. And also about the argon, which is the inert gas, and its presence and its Dardan variabilities. And so we are now getting a lot of new information about the moon using the Chandrayaan 2 mission. What next? We are now working out for a mission to moon, to the sun. This will be the first mission of India to study the sun in detail, both in situ measurements as well as remote sensing. Remote sensing means we are looking at the moon, looking at the sun sitting at the L1 point, and that's why it is called at Aditya L1 mission. Aditya means sun, and it is at the L1 point. I will tell you a little bit about L1 point also. And it works in visible, UV, and X-rays, which will be looking at the sun in these 4 wavelengths: hard X-rays, soft X-rays, ultraviolet, and visible. But it also has particle detectors, which will be measuring the charged particle coming from the sun at all points using 2 instruments called Aspects and Papa. And it also has a magnetometer, which will provide us information about the solar wind magnetic field information. So this is going to be a very unique mission, which is going to go next year, and it will provide us information very close to the surface of the sun, almost like 0.3 solar radii away from the surface of the sun, using the VLC, which is a visible emission line coronagraph. So to look at around the sun using a coronagraph, where you block the sun and look at the region around the sun. L1 point is the point between sun and earth on a line joining sun and earth, but it is at the front of the earth. So it is about 1% of the distance between sun and earth away from the earth. And it moves as the earth goes around the sun, the L1 point also goes around the sun. So this is the beauty, that if you place a satellite or a mission at L1 point, you can get uninterrupted view of the sun at all times. And that's why India has used this to go and study the sun, because if you put a satellite around the earth, then at some point of time it will be having an occultation or eclipse. Okay. So this will be a very unique mission, which we are all looking forward to, which will add up into our capability of understanding the sun. In the future, we are now working on Venus mission. Venus is also very interesting planet because, as I just mentioned, it moves very slow. It has very long day and very long night. But it also has a very unique feature which is called as sulfuric acid clouds. And this cloud covers the whole planet at an altitude of somewhere around 40 to 60 kilometers. Its surface has a pressure which is almost like 100 times that of the Earth, and temperature which is almost like 800 Kelvin. So the condition, the surface of the planet is very hostile. But if you go almost like 50 kilometers above the surface, its pressure is almost same as the surface pressure of the Earth, and temperature is almost like 300 Kelvin. And that is why now people are conjecturing that there could be a possibility of life on the planet Venus in the clouds of Venus. And there's also a recent talk about discovery of phosphine on the planet Venus, which is also very important because it tells us information about the possibility of some kind of life existing on the planet Venus. So with this, I would like to close this talk by telling you that in addition to studying the planets, we study exoplanet also from Earth using our Mount Abu observatory. And this is a planet which was discovered about 3 years back. The first planet discovered from India using an observatory include by an instrument called Paras, which is indigenously developed by scientists from PRL. So this is the first discovery of exoplanet from India using an indigenously developed instrument using our own observatory, that is a 1.2 meter telescope at Mount Abu. And this exoplanet is roughly the size of 6 times the Earth. That's why it is called a sub-Saturn, because Saturn is almost like 8 times or 9 times bigger than the Earth. And it has a periodicity of about 20 days. So it takes 20 days to go around its own sun. And it has a distance of about 60 light years. So this unique feat, which has been achieved by scientists from PRL, is also hailed by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who congratulated the scientists to his tribute, essentially telling immensely proud of a scientist who created history by discovering a sub-Saturn-sized planet 600 light years away from the Earth. Congratulations, the discovery has put India among select countries in the world. So we are not only looking at the planet in our solar system, we are also looking at the planet outside our solar system, that is exoplanets. And now we are developing a 2.5 meter telescope observatory at Mount Abu. You can see that the old telescope is 1.2 meter, but also the 2.4 meter telescope which is coming up, which will be increasing our capability about this telescope. And we will be having a factor of 10 capability about observations using this observatory. So with this, I would like to thank you all for listening patiently and trying to understand about the capability which exists within the country. And I would like to thank all the organizers for inviting me for this function. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir. Honestly, it was so good to hear your inspirational words, which I'm sure have instilled a spark of innovation for the upcoming events of Aaruush. It is our privilege now to welcome the guest of honor for the inaugural ceremony, Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara, the co-founder of Landspot International and Oceania Robotics. Having completed his doctorate and master's from the Nanyang Technological University in 2012 and 2005 respectively, he is currently working as an assistant professor at the prestigious Singapore University of Technology and Design. Sir is a recipient of the SG Mark Design Award, the ASEE Best of Design in Engineering Award, and the Tan Ka Ki Young Inventors Award, and has published more than 80 papers in leading journals, books, and conferences. Sir, it is an honor to host you at this inaugural ceremony as our guest of honor. And now we invite you to address the congregation.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I'm facing some technical difficulty. Let me switch to another laptop quickly. Sorry for the inconveniences.
That is absolutely fine, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for your understanding.
In the meantime, the participants who are attending this through the Zoom link or through the YouTube live, we would request you to stay on while Sir resolves his technical issues. It will be a very short break, and we will be right back with the guest of honor speech. Thank you. To all the participants in attendance, it is an honor to host you at the inaugural ceremony of Aaruush, and we request your kind patience for a few minutes as Sir resolves his technical issues and joins back in the meeting. Thank you.
Gaurav, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, you're audible, sir.
Shall I take a break because I'm traveling right now, so I think the connectivity will be again lost.
Yes, sorry. Hello. Can you
hear me?
Yes, sir. And Dr. Bharadwaj, we can hear you clearly, sir.
Yes.
So what I was telling is that I would like to disconnect because I'm traveling right now, and I think the connectivity will be lost.
Yes, sir. It is absolutely fine. So it was an honor to host you here.
Okay, thank you very much, and all the best for the 4 days event. And good luck to all the participants, and have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mohan, you're audible. Are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm loading my slides now. Sorry for the inconveniences. There is some issue.
That is absolutely fine, sir.
Network, yeah. So can you see my slides?
Yes, sir, we can. It's clearly visible.
Yes, yeah. So again, my sincere apologies for the inconveniences caused. I'm very glad to be here in this venue, in the platform, talking to inspiring youths, and an excellent forum that has thrived over several years, and to be together with panelists that are eminent, current and in the past. So in this presentation, I will be sharing our work on reconfigurable robots, our current progresses in research, development, and commercialization. So thanks for the introduction. I'm a faculty with SUTD and co-founder of multiple robotics companies. So reconfigurable robots are a class of robots that are capable of changing their form factor from one to another to overcome difficulties in the environment or the tasks that these robots perform. Yes, you are guessing right. These are transformers. So the robot, just like the movie Transformers, we are making robots that can shapeshift from one form to another, that has the ability to think, process the perceived information, make decision to change form from one to another. So we have been progressing very well over the years, and currently SUTD is rated #1 in the world in the area of reconfigurable robotics by Web of Science, a premier benchmarking organization for research. And one important observation that you can see with the table is that other than SUTD, we have a number of leading universities. SUTD is followed by MIT, NASA, EPFL, CNRS, Caltech, and so on. In a way indicating the importance of this emerging field. So I will now share with you a series of robotic projects and robot platforms that we are developing, intriguing ones indeed, where the robot uses the principle of reconfiguration to achieve excellent performances in the tasks that they do. The first project is that of Scorpio. So Scorpio is a robot that we developed for Ministry of Defense, targeting urban reconnaissance mission. So the robot was expected to be thrown in in an urban reconnaissance setting with the ability to crawl, roll, and climb wall. So imagine a hotel that is under siege and the security personnel want to gain access and to understand the happenings within. A robot like this is essential, that is capable of crawling, rolling, and wall climbing. So here this robot is miniature in size, is about 10 centimeters in rolling diameter, and it can be thrown into a building. So here is a typical example of how a nature-inspired system has principles of reconfiguration, but overcomes critical challenges that can even save lives of security personnel. So next, I will show you another example where the inspiration was derived from Tetris, a game that we are very familiar with for solving the problem of floor cleaning. You may have seen floor cleaning robots in the market, like the ones of Samsung, Xiaomi, and on. These are circular, square, and rectangle. But we have developed robots that derive inspiration from Tetris. The robot changes shape to one of 7 forms, is autonomous. It can perceive the environment and maximize cleaning area. What you see is a commercial robot, and the company claimed to have sold over 1 lakh units in the market, but it has a number of issues. It cannot access there, it cannot access here, it cannot access a number of areas. So in typical home, it accesses only about 60 to 70%, and the remaining 30% to 40% has to be cleaned manually. But now with H-Tetro, the robot uses the same type of sensors, actuators, controllers, but with the ability that the robot can shapeshift to one of 7 forms of a Tetris. So it can move around, assuming different shapes to maximize the area covered. So the developments here and the research does not span only mechanisms, but also control, perception, autonomy, and the ability of the robot to seamlessly integrate into the space while retaining the cleaning performance. So what you see is a camera observed from overhead, and the commercial robot is struggling to gain about 30% just because it cannot go over to the other side. Whereas with the Tetris inspired robot, the robot can move to the other side and can achieve an area of over 95%. So the robot assumed the shape of eye and is shifted to the other side, and it can clean and cover over 95%. So in this case, we exceed the performances of commercial robots significantly by using a disruptive transformational capability. With a commercial robot, they have fixed forms, whereas with our case, we shapeshift, and the difference is from achieving an area coverage of 30% to 95%. Commercial companies put their effort on the cleaning module, the precision and the accuracy of the cleaning module. If a robot simply cannot access, it cannot clean. So it's not just about the cleaning approach, but it's also about the algorithm. So we have developed tiling.
So, is the sound being played in the video? Raj, Dr. Mohan, we cannot hear you. Sir, are you here with us? It seems sir's mic is not working. I believe he will be rejoining then.
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We
yes.
can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. So what the robot does is basically tile the given area. The algorithm that we have generates a tiling set to tile the entire area, and the robot simply have to go and synthesize the actual tiling shape at every coordinate spot in XY. By doing so, the robot can ensure 100% area coverage. So now the robot is going in the synthesized form, and you could see that now the robot will synthesize T and inverted T. By doing so, the robot ensures a complete area coverage. So we have a patented technology that uses this tiling theoretic approach for area coverage. And this is for the very first time. So in the past, the means have always been going zigzag, going spiral, or going vortex. So this is the first time that such an approach is used.
Sir, the video is, yes, sir. Now it's fine.
Yes. So we maximize area coverage. We, in fact, minimize the number of times the robot reconfigures. So we minimize the number of times the robot reconfigures, even though it looks really cool, but we minimize it because the core optimization variable is to maximize the area, and we do that effectively. So we have a series of patents that have been claimed, and also a number of intellectual outputs in the area of tiling theoretic approach to area coverage. So it's not just about reconfigurable robots that traverse on the floor and clear areas, but also robots that climb staircases, because staircases are permanent infrastructure in every building, and cleaning them are ergonomically more difficult than cleaning floor.
Sir, if you're speaking, sir, we cannot hear you. Is it possible for you to increase the volume?
Is not about the staircase, but is also about large vehicles that are reconfigurable. So we went forward to develop robots that are large in scale, that are also reconfigurable. And here to tackle the problem of pavement sweeping. So pavement sweeping is also a process that is labor intensive, with work conditions that are difficult and repetitive, where robots can play a big role. So here we develop Pantera, a robot that is capable of compressing and expanding to achieve area coverage and being adaptive to the crowd density in the case of pavements. So this robot was completely developed at the university, and we demonstrated a number of research capabilities, such as the robot compressing with response to crowd, with response to people cycling, with response to shift, compressing to the left, compressing to the right, compressing on both sides, perceiving the environmental situations, the human densities, and to access and cover the area. We also validated we validated a number of path planning approaches to area coverage. That has been a core contributions from our group here. So what you are seeing is some of the trials at our university. So now we have gone beyond the university trials to trial at actual payments. So with all these intellectual outputs so far, we didn't want to stop there. We wanted to go way beyond. We wanted to make socio-economic impact with our reconfigurable robots, and with our recognition and ranking in the International League of Research Contributors going up, we wanted to make serious commercial implication, like generating jobs, making real products, and exporting such products globally. So one of the first attempt was with Linespot. So Linespot is a company where I am a co-founder. The company designs and manufactures professional cleaning robots. So the company designs professional cleaning robots that are of industrial scale, robots that clean not home, but shopping mall, airport, schools, and beyond. So we do end-to-end developments there, from mechanical design, electrical systems, PCB design, all the way to full stack development and cloud. So currently we have over 65 engineers alone. So in addition, we have our manufacturing professionals, we have our admin staff and beyond that support the company. And we are manufacturing our robots in Singapore. So our robots are deployed in a number of places in Singapore, very important sites that span different type of contexts like shopping malls, museums, supermarkets, hospitals. With COVID, deployments of robots in hospitals have become very important. In 2019, there was a shortage in cleaning professionals in the cleaning industry. However, with 2020 and COVID, there has been a steep rise in the need for cleaning professionals, as we witness and proportional steep rise with the cleaning frequency and the expectations in buildings to disinfect. The cleaning professionals were in demand. However, the number of cleaning professionals went low. The number went low because of the worry about getting infected and the ergonomic issues in the increased demand for cleaning. So people switched to other jobs. So robots now can play a big role in this increasingly important domain. And our robots have been doing that for almost 1.5 years now. So we have exported our robots so far to 24 countries. You may see India. India is a star there, with our robots being shipped to our distributor in India. So we have robots running in major hospitals in many of the countries listed here, like the UK's NHS series of hospitals in Germany and many places. So a short video of our robot.
Is a 925 hours robot operator in the future. He uses the Lions Clean app to manage his LionSpot cleaning robots. Rio Scrub specializes in scrubbing and drying floors. Designed to prevent collisions, she comes with a full suite of safety sensors. Deployment using the Lions Clean app is easy.
Yeah, so you can see here that the robots perform in different type of contexts. It works as a team and is compact to clean and cover areas. And our robots have been performing very well with the current fight against the COVID, cleaning variety of setting and helping the healthcare professionals and beyond. So it's not just that. We wanted to go way beyond, because the research undertaken at the lab is fundamental in nature. So inspiring a company cannot be to a specific domain. So we inspired a second company, Oceania Robotics, in the area of marine. The company now has 3 divisions: marine, pest control, and landscaping. Again, these are domains, industries that involve laborious activities with big scope for productivity improvements with robots. So we have been developing a series of marine robots that performs hydroblasting, grid blasting, and benchmarking, which are very tough work processes. Imagine the recoil force a person should withstand firing water against the ship hull to remove the biomaterials in the external surfaces, or removing a paint in the external surfaces of a ship hull or an oil rig, as you see in this video. So we have robots that does that. So there is a short clip here that shows how ergonomically unfriendly space becomes. The platform is reconfigurable in a way that it can be configured to do hydroblasting, grid blasting, or benchmarking. So you can see how ergonomically unfriendly the area becomes. And this is hazardous to people. So we are now looking at robots that can perform these hazardous jobs so that people can do jobs of higher value. So in this case, you can imagine people standing afar and controlling these robots. So people become robot operators that manage not just one, but multiple robots, improving productivity, but at the same time, uplifting the value of the job from a hazardous one to one that is ergonomically friendly. So it's just not that. Our company started our second division, the pest control division. This is in our fight against the mosquito. Singapore, being a tropical nation, always has a big fight with mosquitoes, and most tropical nations do. Also with India, Tamil Nadu, and Chennai as well. Right. So here we have dengue numbers that are serious in Singapore. So last year we had over 35,000 cases of dengue. And the fatalities here, even though was less, but it was higher than that of COVID for last year. So we had 28 people whom have died from dengue last year. So the government wanted to take up the fight and want to throw in every type of solutions against the fight against the mosquitoes. So we put our robots, our Dragonfly class of robots that are capable of automatically navigating a given area, attract mosquitoes using a combination of odor, UV, thermal, and motion, attract them, trap them, and kill them. The robot had computer vision and AI processes within to build heat density of mosquitoes in a given place. Typical use of anti-mosquito processes involve fumigation, is using smoke to kill and ward off mosquitoes. But often in this case, mosquitoes fly to the neighboring areas, and then they would return back when the effect of fogging is gone. So what we want to do is to have an intelligent system that is capable of moving around, attracting mosquito, trapping them, and to build an AI database on heat density. So it's not only warding them off and them coming back again, but to show and demonstrate the productivity improvements of the mosquito control measures. And our robots have been very well received in many infrastructures like schools, like parks, golf clubs, and beyond. And we are moving with different variants of robots. So our robots have been tuned to particularly attract Aedes female mosquitoes that are responsible for dengue. And with our system, it can be tuned to any specific species of mosquito that causes, let's say, malaria, Zika, chikungunya, and on. So we are, I'm very happy to announce that our robots will be in India very soon. So a short video of our robot. So the robot also has elements of interaction, and the robot become a central embodiment, bringing people together. The robot has a range of sensors built on board that enables it to avoid obstacles, dynamic and static. So again, it's not just the two ventures. Now we have recently our third venture, the VIFA Robotics, that spinned off from the lab, and the company designs and manufacture educational robots. And these companies are powered by engineers and graduates that are part of the lab. So again, Smurfy, as you can see, is derived from our tiling class of robots. Since we have over 7 years of fundamental research and development in this domain, and we want to bring this as an educational platform so that youths around the world can apply and learn STEAM concepts in science, technology, engineering, artificial intelligence, and mathematics. As you saw in the case of cleaning example, the robot is capable of changing to one of 7 shapes. They can have different form, different scale, and the platforms can be used to learn a number of engineering concepts too. So we are offering a number of solutions to universities, colleges, polytechnics, schools, from setting up of labs to helping them with the curriculum using our robots, organizing international competitions with different teams like soccer playing tiling robots, maze solving tiling robots, rescuing tiling robots, and beyond. And also we have a belief of bringing a number of universities together and countries together. In fact, for next year, we are looking at a global alliance involving universities from 30 countries coming together. And we are very happy, to have SRM as part of this global alliance effort. So we have 100 units committed from 10 countries so far, and we are building momentum very well for our global alliance meetup next year involving 30 countries. So these are some of the countries that are participating for our global alliance program for next year. Thank you, and I'm happy to be here in the forum to share our developments in the area of reconfigurable robotics and emerging domain. And I'm looking forward to partnering with SRM as a premier institution in India and beyond, and to work with energetic youths like you all. I have to mention here that I have had 5 SRM alumni that has worked with me, and they contributed significantly to many of these projects that I presented here. And I'm very happy to have your graduates more applying for master's program, PhD program, or research positions at SUTD and the companies that we have inspired. Thank you.
It was our pleasure listening to you, sir. You have surely inspired us and the audience, and we thank you for your gracious presence and being our guest of honor. You have definitely elevated our inaugural day.
No single-handed effort has ever caused a revolution. Following the spark of innovation, the fire needs to be carried further by the torchbearers of progress. While we have described our journey this far and our journey ahead, a heartfelt token of our gratitude is needed for the individuals who have been responsible for getting us to this summit. We now call upon Mr. Harshit Rathore, Challenges and Championships Organizer, and Ms. Metina Varghese, Team Envision Organizer of Aaruush 21, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Bill Gates rightly quoted, technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kid working together and motivating them. The teacher is the most important. No building is just made by the bricks and mortars, but sculpted into a momentous megalith by the skilled individuals that engrave their stories into the stellar legacy of change, innovation, and revolution by their zeal and hard work. Rising in the spirit of innovation, this monument is built by these very talented individuals I have had the honor of knowing.
Thus, on this auspicious occasion of the inaugural ceremony of Aaruush 21, I, Harshit Rathore, organizer, Challenges and Championships,
And I, Metina Varghese, Team Envision organizer for Team Aaruush,
have the honor of addressing the illustrious gathering to deliver the vote of thanks.
We are immensely thankful to our esteemed founder chancellor, Shri Dr. T.R. Parivendra sir, for his ideas and elegance of establishment of this legacy of which we all are part of, the SRM group of educational institutions. We also extend a heartfelt thanks to our eminent personalities, the Pro-Chancellor Administration, Shri P. Ravi, and Pro-Chancellor Academics of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Shri P. Satyanarayan, for his presence throughout the time as he witnessed Aaruush evolve. Also, we are extremely grateful to our illustrious registrar, Dr. S. Ponnuswamy, for illuminating the ceremony with the presidential address and for being the catalyst that encouraged us to do our best.
As an event of this magnitude and success would not have been possible without the support and guidance of our patrons, the 5 pillars that hold up our beloved Aaruush. Our chief patron, Dr. C. Muthamilchelvan sir, who serves as the Pro Vice Chancellor of Engineering and Technology. In his guiding force of excellence to our team and its endeavors, Professor T.V. Gopal, who serves as the Dean of Engineering Technology, the light of wisdom, and a mentor in our pursuit of technological revolution. Our financial advisor, Professor V.M. Punaya sir, who serves as the Dean of Management, is the man with power of prudent decision making and efficiency. Dr. V. Tirumurugan sir, who serves as the Associate Director of Campus Life, and our beloved convener, Dr. A. Ratnam sir, who is the Director of Alumni Affairs, Senior Professor of EEE Department, a man without whom Aaruush would not be what it is.
This inaugural ceremony would be incomplete without the presence of 2 extremely eminent and honored individuals. It is my privilege to speak on behalf of Team Aaruush and extend our earnest gratitude to Dr. Anil Bharadwaj and Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara. Your contributions to the nations and to the cause of social service have set a stellar example for us. Our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors. A special thanks to SCUBE, our associate sponsor, and Skill Vertex, our industrial training sponsor, who have spent their valuable time and effort into making our fest zealous and bigger and better than ever before.
This vote of thanks would be incomplete without expressing our appreciation towards our wonderfully dedicated and patient audience. Your presence is what inspires us, and we hope that this ceremony has been fulfilling for you as it has been for us. This is just a curtain raiser to the amazing 4 days of Aaruush that awaits you all. Lastly, this speech, this fest would be incomplete without thanking the faces behind Aaruush, the ones who have tirelessly worked behind the curtains night and day to pull off this edition. A few months ago, none of us could have imagined that what has been crafted into this magnificent extravaganza will be an edition that reaches the zenith of success.
To my fellow organizers, I can only be grateful for your efforts and your patience to sit through those lengthy meetings. What we have achieved as the organizing committee of this edition is unique and unprecedented. To the committee heads, you have been very backbone of this team. Our gratitude to you for tolerating the late hours and incessant iterations that we kept asking of you. To the committee members, this online edition is your achievement. It is an experience that no one will ever have. You have an enthroned bequest to live up. We are going to be etched in the history of this organization as a team that thrived during the course of a pandemic and emerged like the phoenix with the first rays of the sun.
Thank you to this Aaruush family for all that they did to make this edition one of its kind. All your hard work is about to be manifested in 4 glorious days of innovation that shall be etched forever in the history of our fest. With this, I'd like to conclude with the saying that has stayed with us all these years as a volunteer when we joined the organizing committee. A saying that I am sure every one of you believes by now, that Aaruush is not just a fest, it is a feeling.
Thank you, Mr. Hership and Ms. Marina, for those words of gratitude and gratefulness. Adding to that, I would like to thank, because over the course of the past few months, at every step and every bend in the road, we have been supported by our patrons who are present over here today, and especially our chief patron, the Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. C. Muktamir Shelvan, and our Dean CET, Sir, Dr. T.V. Gopal, our Dean Management and Financial Advisor, Sir, Dr. V.M. Punaya, and our Associate Director Campus Life, Dr. V. Thiramurugan Sir, and of course, Ratnam Sir as our convener. At every step, they have assisted us, and we could not have done this without them.
Now, we take special pride in presenting to you the glimpse of the upcoming 4 days of a technological extravaganza created by the brilliant creators team of Aaruush and brought to you by the organizing committee. We proudly unveil the official main video of Aaruush 21.
It is visible, right?
Yes, the screen is visible.
With those awe-inspiring visuals and uplifting sound, we can truly say that Aaruush 21 has arrived.
As we progress towards the end of the ceremony, I would like to convey our heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, sir, and our guest of honor, Dr. Mohan Rajesh Ilara, sir, for taking time out of their busy schedules to grace us with their presence. I would also like to extend our gratitude to our patrons, Dr. C. Muthamir Shelvan, sir, Vice Chancellor of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Dr. T.V. Gopal, sir, Dean of Colleges of Engineering and Technology, Dr. V.M. Punaya, sir, Dean of School of Management, and Dr. V. Thirumurugan, sir, Associate Director, Campus Life, and finally, Dr. A. Ratnam, sir, convener of Aaruush, for the continuous support and guidance. With your enthusiastic participation, we hope this edition turns into a great and grand success. As we craft another edition that engineers, engraves, and establishes a benchmark in the crowned history of Aaruush, we hope this edition ignites the light of innovation and creation in the hearts and minds of students, inspiring them to think beyond boundaries.
With this being said, I, GM Anusha, the Sponsorship and Marketing Head and Team Development Organizer,
and I, Rishabh Chaudhary, the Joint Secretary and Public Relations Officer of Team Aaruush, now declare the 15th edition of this National Level Techno Management Fest open. Thank you, everyone.